Alright, here we go. So in this video, I'm going to share with you what I call my 80-20 funnel marketing strategy. And really simple, just the basic overview of what a funnel marketing strategy is. Basically, it's that journey from the audience awareness all the way through the buying process. Basically, how you take a random stranger, website visitor and basically turn them into a paying customer. Now, a lot of people think of a funnel as basically, what this is, representing a funnel basically, which is wide at the top and narrow at the bottom. And it's basically saying someone who comes across your business first has to become aware of your business. And then the second stage from there is maybe they come across some of your content, right? Maybe you have a blog post or something. And then from there, they go on to become a lead. And you get all these leads, and then from there, people become buyers. Now, there is another side to a funnel, and this is basically what happens after the initial transaction. So if you ever heard of programs like ClickFunnels or OptimizeBriz, or there's a variety of these, but basically this is where the 80-20 rule comes into play. And basically what it's saying is, if you take an audience, the number of people who are actually going to become buyers out of this is really going to be about 20%. And so really this is what you're looking for. This right here, this is what I call the front side of the funnel. What you're doing is you're narrowing your audience to basically find your buyers. So this will be, the big circle is your audience. The buyers are, 20% of that audience. Now, out of those buyers, not all buyers are created equal, and this is what people like Russell Brunson and all these level marketers know, is that if you take 1,000 buyers, 80% of those buyers are just going to be a one-time transaction. You're probably never going to hear from them again. But then 20% of those buyers, are not only going to buy one product. So let's say your first product you sell for $100. Well, 20% of the next set of buyers will buy a $1,000 product, right? So if you have 1,000 buyers, 80% of them might only go through one transaction, but 20% of those, so about 200 of those, can actually, become, repeat customers, and you basically increase your customer's lifetime value. And here's the thing, so out of 1,000, 200 will move on to this stage, and then 80-20 basically says that, it keeps going. So out of these 200, 20% of those, so basically about 40, will actually be willing to spend up to $10,000 for you, right? And so, if you don't have a funnel that is narrowing down your audience into buyers, you're basically wasting a lot of money. And let me show you how that works. So for example, let's say, let me actually walk you through how this funnel works. And basically, that'll show you, what I mean by, why the purpose of the first, your first funnel really is to eliminate waste in your business. So basically, let's say you're taking, this audience, right? So you have a big audience, and I'm just going to show you the example of what I'm doing here with this video, right? So I have a YouTube video. And so this YouTube video is actually pointing to a piece of content, which, down below this video, you'll see a link where you can actually get a full guide of how to build a full funnel, a full marketing sales funnel from scratch. You can get templates and stuff. And so if you look at that, the way that process looks is I have this video that you're watching right now, and that's pointing to a piece of content. Now, what that is doing basically is it's taking a big audience that I know is interested in marketing, and I am essentially, change colors here, what will be a good one? Let's go for orange. I am basically narrowing down that audience to people who go read that content. So if you take this big audience, I'm creating a smaller audience. And then out of the people that read the content, the people that are really interested in building a marketing funnel, who are ready to act, they're going to basically then go ahead and subscribe to my newsletter, right? Now, once they subscribe to my newsletter, they enter basically the next stage of the funnel, right? They're the red part of the funnel. And basically the way that looks like in here, it's a smaller audience. Now, this just keeps going, but here's what you need to understand. When I first start, let's say that, just like YouTube, let's say that YouTube tells me that I have an audience, a potential audience of 10,000 people to advertise to, right? Well, following the 80-20, I know that 80% of those are probably not going to be my buyers. But as I begin to narrow, I can actually tell Facebook's like, hey, the people that are reading my content are more likely to be my buyers. So show my ads only to this group of people right here, right? So to that 20%. So now instead of advertising to the big group of people, I'm only advertising to, the second tier. So I'm already bringing down my advertising cost from that. Similarly, as people move from my content to becoming subscribers, I can then, basically tell YouTube, like, hey, all these guys that subscribe, that's basically the people that I'm looking for, because they're more likely to be my buyers. And all of a sudden, I'm able to shrink down my audience even further. And instead of targeting all these 10,000 people, I'm now starting to target only about, let's say about 4,000 of those people, right? Whatever the math is, I'm basically trying to paint a picture here. I'm not good at math. You don't have to be good at math for this, but this keeps going. So once I find the buyers, basically what I'm finding is this group of people right here, and all of a sudden, here's what happens is this small group all of a sudden becomes my new audience. So I'm able to shrink down my audience from 10,000 to 1,000, and now you might think, like, okay, well, I want to actually grow my audience, not shrinking down. Well, you're going to be able to grow your audience, but here's the thing. What you want to grow is this audience right here. You don't want to grow the audience that you're basically just showing your ads to. You want to grow your buying audience, right? And the way that you do that is by eliminating all the waste up front. So you need a funnel up front, and this is what I call my true fan funnel, which again, underneath this video, I have a link where you can have, that full strategy where I walk you through how to go, about designing this step by step from scratch. I'll share my, template and everything with you. But you're basically walking people through this process until they become buyers. And here's what happens. If you don't do this, if you don't follow this, eliminating waste, what you're going to get is a lot of people that come to your website, a lot of them are not going to subscribe. The ones that subscribe, all of a sudden you have an email list of non-responsive subscribers, a lot of freebie seekers, just looky looks. I've had email lists up to, I remember one of the first times I actually cut down my email list, I was getting to like 10,000 subscribers. And 10,000 subscribers seems like a lot of subscribers, but really when when your email open rates are like 20% email open rates, that means that only 2,000 of the full, of my entire list were opening up my emails. That means that I was paying for, to have 10,000 emails on my database, but really only 2,000 of those people were actually true leads, because they were the ones that were actually opening my email. So a funnel should actually eliminate all that waste up front before they become leads and before they become buyers. And then once you start to find the buyers, then what you start to work on is the other side of the funnel, which is, okay, you have one offer here. What is your second offer? What is your third offer? And start thinking more about the, think in terms of lifetime customers, right? Now, a funnel, what it's going to do is going to basically transition a visitor into a warm lead and a buyer. And if you skip this entire process, That's basically like trying to, go out and ask a date, ask a girl out on a date, but instead of, dating, you're basically trying to go straight for, the one night stand kind of thing. And so you don't want to think a one-time transaction kind of thing in this business. You want to think long term. You want to think, hey, if I give value to people and they become buyers, it's okay if they only buy $100 product in the beginning, because that, let's say for example, my first product is, I help someone make their first sale online, right? And because they now know how to go through this entire process in their business where they are taking, strangers and turning them into paying clients and customers. Now they know how to do it once. They go on from the first sale to make, their first 3 sales, and then they go from that and take that and turn it into 30 sales, and then 100 sales, 300 sales, right? And they just keep going until they become full-time marketers. And then all of a sudden, here's what happens. This group, as I grow this group, this becomes my new audience. So this new audience, all of a sudden now, let's see, here will be a good color, sky blue. This group now, it's a smaller group, but here's the thing, I can take this group and put this group through a similar front-end funnel where I take them through different content and they become leads for my next stage on my funnel, where now it's like, hey, now that you're a full-time marketer, you might be interested in being part of my 6-figure workshop, right? And I started to grow this audience. So this basically begins to repeat itself, and you're essentially shrinking down your audience to find higher paying customers. And the more you do this, the more you eliminate, 80% of the things that you're going to do online are going to be a waste of time. So the more you eliminate all the waste, which is 80% of it, and start focusing on the 20%, start focusing on this audience, and then grow the next audience, that's how you start moving into a growing business using a funnel marketing strategy. So again, below this video, I'm going to have a link to a guide where I'm actually going to walk you through this step by step. If you like this video, make sure you like this video, share it, leave me a comment, let me know what your biggest takeaway from it is, and stay tuned because I'm going to actually continue this series, walking you through how to build a marketing sales funnel, how to implement it in your business, and well, stay tuned for the next video. Hope to see you there. Talk to you later.